On a quiet night in Eastwood, Nurse Elijah Rowe answered a phone call that made his hand tremble. "You really thought you could take advantage of my daughter and get away with it?" snarled a voice. It was Victor Langford, real estate mogul, billionaire, and a man used to buying silence. "I'm going to destroy you and your pathetic excuse for a family." 3 weeks earlier, during a violent storm, Elijah had spotted a young woman drenched and alone by the side of the road. Without hesitation, he offered her shelter. She called herself Maya, said she'd lost her phone and wallet, and had nowhere to go. Elijah, a single father raising his 7-year-old daughter Zoe, didn't think twice. For 2 weeks, Maya lived in their modest apartment, helping with chores, playing games with Zoe, and laughing over burnt pancakes and board games. Then, just as quietly as she arrived, she left a handwritten thank you note and disappeared. He didn't know she was actually Sienna Langford, daughter of a man worth $200 million. And now that man believed Elijah had manipulated her. The threats came fast. Anonymous complaints to his hospital. Suspicious court orders. Frozen bank accounts. Zoe's school blocked her lunch plan, citing legal uncertainties. Elijah said nothing, even when Zoe asked, "Why can't I eat with my friends anymore?" He just hugged her tighter. Victor Langford wasn't trying to resolve a misunderstanding. He was trying to erase a man. But what Victor didn't know was that Elijah had spent years documenting everything. Not because he suspected anything, but because, as a nurse, he lived by protocol. Every conversation with Sienna, every smile between her and Zoe, every act of kindness had quietly archived it all. And when Victor called at 2 a.m., threatening to ruin him, Elijah didn't flinch. Instead, he recorded every word. "You people always forget your place," Victor sneered. "My daughter is worth more than anything in your entire bloodline." Elijah just listened. The arrogance was building his case for him. Then came a knock at the door. Civil rights attorney Celeste Marquez, an old colleague, stepped inside. She'd seen Victor's tactics before. 3 other victims. All silenced with legal pressure and million-dollar hush money. But Elijah wasn't going to disappear. He wasn't built that way. Then, everything shifted. Sienna called. She was crying. "My father is planning to frame you. They're going to plant something in your apartment." I overheard everything. Elijah stayed calm. "Are you safe?" She was. And she had proof: audio files, emails, documents. The trap was set. Elijah and Celeste installed hidden cameras throughout the apartment. Hours later, 2 men posing as utility workers broke in. Everything was recorded: drugs planted under Zoe's bed, whispered instructions, phone calls to Victor. 10 minutes later, Victor called in a tip to police, claiming a child was in danger. What he didn't know was that Internal Affairs had been alerted, and they were watching too. By noon, Victor Langford was being escorted from his office in handcuffs. Cameras flashed. Headlines exploded. Billionaire caught orchestrating evidence-planting scheme. But Elijah didn't smile. He didn't seek revenge. He focused on Zoe, holding her hand as she watched the news. "Is that the man who was being mean to us?" she asked. "Not anymore," he said softly. In the months that followed, Elijah founded the Road Justice Initiative, supporting victims of corporate abuse. Sienna, now using her mother's name, came to visit. She was studying law, determined to undo the damage her family had caused. Zoe ran to her. "Maya," she shouted, throwing her arms around her. Victor Langford tried to negotiate. He even offered names of others. But no one was listening. He had mistaken a quiet man's kindness for weakness and paid the price. Elijah didn't destroy Victor Langford. Victor did that himself. And the world was finally watching.